A simple approach to light your YouTube videos using both natural light and studio lighting. That is the topic of today's video. Let's talk about natural light and YouTube videos. The most common form of a YouTube video is a combination of A-roll talking head shot like this one and B-roll shots. To light yourself in front of a camera indoors using only natural light, your best friend will be a window, which will be your key light. For a YouTube video where you need to look directly into the lens, try to position yourself in a way that the window will light your face from a 45-degree-ish angle. This way you will create more interesting look because you will introduce contrast to your shot. One side of your face will be brighter and the other will be darker. Now, before we add any other lights to the scene, it's time to set the exposure. The goal is to achieve perfect exposure on your face, as it is the main subject of the frame. I'm shooting this video at 25 frames per second, and that's why my shutter needs to be at 1/50th of the second. Then I almost always try to keep my ISO at base level, which for A7 IV and S-Log3 is ISO 800 or 3200. Then with these constraints, the only thing I can change really is the aperture. In such simple environment like this, I like to keep the aperture as open as possible so I can blur the background a little bit. If you want to shoot at f2.8 for example, like I do, and the image is still overexposed, you can use an ND filter. If the lighting is too harsh during a bright sunlight for example, use a diffuser. It can be a shower curtain, or you can buy this kind of multi-purpose thing which can serve as a reflector and also as a negative fill. Now let me show you how this scene will look like with and without a diffuser. In the next step, you can add some practical lights to the background. Your mission with practical lights is to create depth in the shot and to make your set more visually interesting. You can invest in something like Philips Hue bulbs. So far I had no issues with flickering, and the best part is they are adjustable. With some you can change color and with some only intensity. Let's move on to the studio lighting. The main benefit here is that once you figure out how to light your videos, you will have consistent look across all of your videos. Today I'm going to talk about my budget-friendly studio lighting setup that consists of two main studio lights. First and the most important is the key light. But before we jump into the placement of the key light and settings, make sure that you have something to diffuse the key light with. Again, you can use a dedicated diffuser, a light dome, or any DIY curtain. Most of the time you don't want harsh light on your face. Now I will apply basically the same principles as I've mentioned with the natural light. So place the key light to 45-degree-ish angle. This way you will introduce more contrast to the shot. As you can see, one side of my face is brighter and one side is darker. But why do we want contrast in the shot in the first place? First of all, it will help you to stand out in the shot or in the image, and the second reason is that contrast is more visually pleasing and interesting than a flat image. The better your shot looks, the better chance you have the audience will watch your videos. You should know that there are far more important aspects that can make or break your videos than the set design and lighting, but more on that in upcoming videos. Next, I would place the second light diagonally to the key light behind the main subject of the video, which most probably will be you. Here I don't have any diffusion on the second light because I wanted to create an outline on my darker side, because it will help me to stand out in the shot and also to create more contrast in my frame. If you want to use practical lights in the background, you can apply the same rules as with the natural light. If you can afford one additional light with adjustable temperature or RGB light, use it on the background with a complementary color. What does it mean? Simply, if you use warmer colors in your shot, Set this light to cooler tones or temperature to accent light some parts of your frame. It may look like a lot of money, especially if your YouTube channel is in its early stages, but there are basically two ways to look at this problem. First, just use the natural light. Now you know how to use it and how to achieve decent results. It's free, but the real cost is convenience. You will constantly have to adapt to the weather and lighting conditions. One day you may work with nice soft overcast light and the other with harsh sunlight or cloudy skies, constantly switching between light and shade. This may be really frustrating sometimes. The second way is to invest in lighting gear. This way you don't have to adapt and you can basically shoot anytime you want despite the weather. In the end you will not be frustrated and you may be even more productive.